You're listening to the Super League Pod, coming up on episode 119 of your favourite Rugby League podcast. We've got all your feedback and shout-outs, news from around the world of Rugby League. We will let you in on where the UK's largest urban water feature resides, as well as talking seriously about some wonderful Greek cheeses. That, along with all your reviews, previews and fun interaction with Tom and Mark on your favourite Rugby League podcast, the Super League Pod. Okay, good evening, good morning, or wherever you are. Hello, welcome to episode 119 of the Super League Pod, coming to you a little later than usual because apparently some things are more important than an amateur podcast. Mark, care to explain how's your week been?
Wonderful, thanks, Tom.
Excellent. What have you been up to?
Well, it's been my first wedding anniversary, so thanks for...
And congratulations, that's fantastic.
Bearing with me whilst I sort of more important things.
Of course, no problem at all.
Spending important time with my wife.
Yes.
On a big occasion. Yeah, we popped up to Morecambe, to the Midland Hotel where it all began, where we got married a year ago, and spent the night before the wedding there, had a nice meal, and... generally just hung around, really. Yeah,
fantastic.
Had a few drinks, took loads of photos of the sunset across Morecambe Bay. It's a view I would never tire of in my entire life.
Yes, fantastic.
Well,
congratulations.
And then, so that was on the Sunday night we stayed there, and then we saw her in the anniversary overnight there, and then our actual anniversary was on Monday the 26th, and we... we went out to Manchester last night, so I'll probably take us through that in the SLP recommends, to be honest.
Oh, right.
It was a good night, we had a really good time.
Are you a bit bleary-eyed today? Am I picking up on that just now?
I got a little bit tipsy.
Did you?
Yeah.
Were you at work today or not?
No, I wasn't, no. I'm off this week, actually.
Oh, okay.
Well, I had lots of days to use, basically.
And you've not had much opportunity to take them up until now, I suppose, either, with things being busy, so... good for you. Fantastic.
Yeah. How about yourself?
Not a bad little week, really. Steady away. I did the Preston 10K.
Of course, yeah. So this is what we want to talk about.
On Sunday.
How did it go?
It was great fun. I really, really enjoyed it.
How's your foot now?
My foot is much cleaner, thank you. I was really quite proud of my bleeding toes and my little war injury. I'm sure it was a delight for everyone. So I was just a bit full of adrenaline when I was posting some stuff after I got back. But no, it was a good do.
How was the course?
Hilly.
Yeah, all right.
Hilly and wet.
So is this a sort of building up to?
I was about a minute off my PB.
Right.
So not exactly where I want it to be, but on a flatter course, I'm absolutely certain.
Which we'll be running on in
a few weeks,
6-8 weeks.
Yeah, in a few weeks' time
or so.
I'm absolutely certain I'll get a PB because Preston was great. But there was a lot of hill. It went over through and this is really specific to Preston, but down through Avonham Park and then back up, and it sort of there was a lot of climbing involved.
So where did it go?
Start from the centre of Preston by the big town hall, by the covered market, I should say.
By the Harris Museum.
Yes.
On the flag market.
I don't know what
that further along.
Covered, where New York used to be, and Squires. It's not called Squires anymore. It's somewhere else.
Yes.
Started from there.
Right.
And went up. Past Waterstones and then down towards Avonham Park. Down through Avonham.
Yeah.
Ran through the park for quite a bit of it. Down into Wantley over the river. Right back along the river. And then when you get to where the Continental is, at the bottom end of Preston, you come back across the river and then you would run back up through Avonham Park and back to where Squires and New York was.
So the top end of
at the top end of Friday in Preston. Yeah.
Brilliant.
So, but that was a lovely day. There was a lot of people there. I'm not sure how
lovely day.
It was good fun. The weather was okay to start with, then it hoofed it down, then it stopped.
Yes.
So that was quite welcome. But no, just generally a good crack. The thing that I took from it in terms, it's fantastic. Yeah, I'm building up a little collection of them now. The thing that I take from it most in terms of my own development and fitness is the speed at which I recovered from it compared to where I was at Wigan, where everything was on fire and my feet were hurting. and it took me about a week to kind of get back to it. I was tip top again by this morning.
Brilliant.
So that's an indicator for me as well. But it was a lot of people running for good causes, and we got some donations in and things like that, and all that goes towards refuge. So thank you to everyone who has in the past supported us and has done so recently as well.
Yeah, so that's
Wonderful.
Super League
Pod stands up. If you go justgiving.com/Super League Pod stands up.
Just to mention as well, whilst we're on the charity chat, Dom Hodgson completed his sort of double half marathon back-to-back almost efforts in Disneyland Paris of all places. So if you go on our Facebook page, that's facebook.com/Super League Pod, you'll also find a link to Dom's Just Giving page for what he's been raising money for. He's done an astonishing job of raising money, so well done to the lad.
Yeah, absolutely. He's one of our own.
Exactly.
We love him. And his whole little family. And Dr. Hodgson as well.
Yeah.
More latterly. Excellent. Should we crack on with the show?
Yes.
Fantastic. Who's been getting in touch with us this week then, Mark?
Well, we're going to start, and I hope we haven't sworn so far. I can't remember if we have or not. We're going to start with Paul Ludo Lewis, or should I say Stato Jack Ludo Lewis.
Yes.
So Paul gets in touch. He said, "All right, lads, any chance of a non-sweary shout-out to my little Stato son Jack? He's 10 on SLP Tuesday, so it would be great to play it to him. He's loved the fact that you guys still remember him from the end of season reviews last year."
Well, he did a fantastic job. That's why it sticks in our minds, isn't it? And it's lovely to know that we've got listeners from across the generations, and particularly this young man himself. And happy birthday to you, Jack.
I can't guarantee we'll stay swear-free throughout, but
yeah, this might be the best cut-off point possible for you, Dad. But
happy birthday, totally, to young Jack. 10, that's a good milestone.
I remember my 10th birthday. Got a mountain bike.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I don't really remember mine, but my parents were in the midst of a sort of...
Oh, don't do it. Oh, God. Oh, no. Come on, move it up quickly. Good God. You stick your mountain bike up your backside, Tom, can't you? Look at that. Oh, I have a happy childhood memory. Yeah, well, keep that under your hat, because my parents got divorced. Cheers, mate. Appreciate that. Moving on.
Oh, I've got a weird letter this week as well, which I need to speak to my mum about.
It wasn't all like cut up bits of newspaper, was it?
This will be the first she's hearing about it. But when I was little, she set up a savings account for me with the Halifax. And I've not heard anything of it for years and years and years. And then a letter turns up at my dad's house, where my mum doesn't live, in my mum's married name, which she no longer holds.
Right.
Addressed to her about me. And then I phoned them up, the Halifax, because I went round and picked up the letter.
Right.
I phoned them up and they can't tell you anything. It's not your policy. And I was like, what? But
it's in my name. But there could be money for me.
The letter's in my name. Anyway, so I need to get on to my mum about that. But it was really weird. And I'm a massive surprise for my stepmum, who is Mrs. Illingworth,
right,
and does not
have no idea.
Share the same initials with my mum.
There you go. So you're anticipating that there could be millions of pounds in your name?
No, I'm expecting
away
that
on behalf of your mum.
Put in a $5 or something when I was born 31 years ago.
Let's
and haven't touched it since.
31 long years ago, Mark. Yeah, absolutely. Well, good luck with that. Let us know how that turns out for us.
No, yeah, I will do. Put it in the SLP bank account.
Yeah, that's going to put it to good. You can buy us a pie. Tom Hodgson.
He says, "Please pass on my massive congratulations to the new arrival at the Hugheses.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe time to think about a line of SLP baby grows. Also, if they want a list of inappropriate places to take a newborn baby, I'm happy to oblige."
There you go. See, he's a jack of many trades. Tom.
Definitely, and he does know how to take a little girl to places that she's going to have no recollection or realisation of. So the Hugheses probably should get
is that more commonly known as the Bill Cosby effect?
Wally Frogmore, he says, in quote marks, so I think this is something we said last week, it's the Super League pod, it puts lead in your pencil.
In honour of that, I'm using a pencil this evening.
Asterisk, study not yet proven. Sort of on the same theme, Dr. Bob got in touch. He said there are some research studies that will never happen. Hashtag virility. Hashtag ovarian confounding.
Well,
so basically,
not even in the name of science, Robert.
As far as the doc's concerned, there's not going to be is it more likely to conceive whilst listening to the Super League pod test carried out, although someone who's willing to oblige, I'm not sure the other half of the required participants will oblige similarly, but Wally Frogmore replied to Dr. Bob. He said, maybe we should get a listener fund going. I'll be the guinea pig to go around rooting whilst SLP is on. Hashtag Dr. Frog.
If there is any human being on the face of this planet that I anticipate would be capable of sustaining an erection whilst listening to us talk, it might well be Dr. Frogmore here. So well volunteered, sir. We'll send some details your way.
He's definitely high up on the list of most perverse.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't even think that. I think that would probably qualify as an average Wednesday for him.
Dr. Bob Phillips in touch again on a medical issue. He says circling the red area of a bite or infection is routinely undertaken, usually using a felt tip rather than biro style, and would encourage you not to wash the area or scratch too much. Rapid progression may indicate increasing infection, leading to sepsis and untimely death. In other dermatological advice, use of SPF 50 foundation increases longevity and decreases skin cancer risks. Everyone will be pleased to hear that the bite has subsided.
I wondered why you were wearing long sleeves and perhaps you might be sporting an ugly gaping wound.
No, my arm has not had to be amputated. I am fighting fit on that front.
Fabulous news.
Barry McDermott, he got in touch, the cheating of a
Will you stop slating our most legitimately famous listener?
Hold on, we've just talked about keynote speaker from the International Paediatric
within rugby league circles.
Anyway, Barry McDermott got in touch. He said, for the record, it was only a casual encounter. I'm waiting to be invited out on a proper date.
There you go.
So I appreciate it. No, it's fair. Barry's still playing the field. He's entitled to do that. We hope to tie him down to some sort of more formal dating arrangement.
See, you and I are looking at this from completely different angles. You're thinking of when we could have him on the show, and I'm trying to work out a way to invite him up so that I can go get on it with Barry McDermott and have a few around Blackpool again with him.
There you go. Either way, we hope that can happen next year.
Yeah, we'll see if we can fit him in.
I'm sure Barry's got a tough charity schedule, and talking of charity donations and stuff, Barry's a man who you can support all of what he's up to for Rugby League Cares, for the Steve Prescott Foundation, for all the charities he's involved with. Check out his Facebook page, there's regular updates. There was also the recent event that went really well
over in Oldham,
against the Kevin Sinfield side of the 90s against the Barry McDermott side of the 80s at Waterhead, wasn't it? So great work going on by Barry Mack, and we encourage everyone to support him as well as everyone else we've mentioned.
Fantastic. Here is a voice from the recent past. Good to hear from this young man.
Well, this starts a theme that
I know we broke your heart a little bit last week, Mark.
Chris McEwen, the first one he touched on,
Chris McEwen gets in touch and says,
Chris McEwen says, the disappointment in Mark's voice when Tom says he looks older than 31 is heartbreaking / hilarious. Lee Wheeler, he says, great show as usual, guys, for my first season listening, but the first time I've genuinely laughed out loud. Mark's shock and disgust at Tom's comments about his age was gold. Lee Whitnell says, the key to looking younger is to tell people you're much older than you actually are, then hoover up the compliments. Tyler Casfan says, great listeners always, and with the sloppies coming soon, may I say you both look about 27 to me.
Yeah, flattery will get you absolutely everywhere, Tyler.
But to Tyler, 27 is still really, really old, isn't it?
Yeah, it's all by degrees, isn't it? Yeah,
anybody could be 50,
anybody who can buy him,
ancient to that lad.
Anybody who can buy him fags and lager, that'll do. I actually went and listened back to this bit, and it does play rather well. It is pretty good to hear you kind of... Yeah, I mean, to watch it live was brilliant as well.
It's not a sadness.
It was just a crushing realisation.
No, genuine surprise. It's never been said to me before that I look.
Have you?
Older than I am.
Have you? And I hope you'll tell the truth. Have you asked other people since Monday whether or not that this is true? Have you gone outside the podcast? Emma, Tom said I looked older than 31, or just at work, bring it up.
It came up at work, and everyone sort of thought I looked my age, but no older. And it came up at home, and I've had to be reassured. My wife, which she's not great at doing. If I'm honest, she's not great at reassuring.
Why?
She just doesn't carry it well.
Then if
she leaves a lingering silence at the end of her answers, that kind of makes me feel
empty reassurance.
And there's also comments like, well, your hair is a bit thinner than it used to be, but to switch that back around, and she's like, but I expected it to have gone by now, so you're doing all right.
Yeah, there you go. See, she sugared the pill for you. I'd say that's some quality wifing.
But I think I look my age. I don't see why I look any. And also, if I shave my beard.